Welcome to Amazing Websites Television, the show where intelligent people like you come find the tools to change the rules. Welcome back to the show. Today we are having a very controversial show, and this show is going to be on how the search engines, the government, and the traditional media are manipulating us to believe whatever they want us to believe. I decided to call this episode Lie to Me, and I tell you, there's some very disturbing footage on what exactly is going on the internet. So I recommend you to watch the full show because it's going to be very interesting. Today we also have Seth Larrabee. Seth Larrabee will be telling us about networking on Facebook, and also we have my good friend James Reynolds, which is going to be telling us how to position ourselves properly on the search engines through pay-per-click. I think you're going to find this show very interesting, so I recommend you to watch it from beginning to end. Let's get started with the first section of the show, which is going to be handy bookmarks. Welcome back to Handy Bookmarks. Today I have 5 great tools that I want to share with you before we go into the controversial aspect of this show. And I'm going to start with a very interesting tool, and this tool is called mypermissions.org. Now, mypermissions.org, it is a tool that will be telling you which different applications are actually accessing your social media accounts or whatever you're using. Possibly you have seen that now it's very trendy that whenever you go to a website, they tell you, well, sign up with Facebook or sign up with Twitter and sign up with LinkedIn. Now, what happens is the moment that you click OK, yes, of course, I mean, that eases the process for you to sign up, but then these other applications, these other websites have your database. Now, what this software is going to do is it's going to be telling you why and how they are obtaining this information so that you can actually block it when you think it is a time for you to block it. Very interesting. Next tool that I want to share with you is called LeFeed. And LeFeed is a great tool that you can find in lefeed.com. And it is a very easy way to see your feeds from all the people that you like in Facebook. Now, I do not know about you, but I really dislike scrolling to see what my friends and the people in Facebook are actually doing and uploading on Facebook. So I don't like to do that. So in order for me to avoid to do that, LeFeed filters all the things that I want to see and the things that I don't want to see, and then you, by clicking this I like and this I don't like, you will be able to have access to the people and to the content that you really want to see. Very useful. Next tool that I want to share with you, it is a pay tool. It's not a free tool, but when I tell you what it does, you're going to really want to pay for it. The name of this tool is called Proxify, and you can get it at proxify.com. Proxify is a very interesting tool if you are traveling to countries that do block content somewhere. For example, let's say that you are somewhere in the Middle East or in China or whatever, and some of the content, it is actually blocked. Well, this can be a great way for you to access any content absolutely anywhere. It is a bit of an expensive service, but I think it's definitely worth checking out. The next tool that I want to share with you is called shotclip.com, and this is a very interesting tool because you can make some very cool videos. You can mix some footage which they have there and create your own little clips with all sorts of different footage and mix all sorts of things and create really nice and professional looking videos. It is a free service, and I'm sure that you're going to find it very interesting. The last tool that I want to share with you is called FlipSnack, and this is a very nice tool because what you can do is you can take your PDF books and then you can create them into readable books. I mean, you can actually put them there and it will just format it so that you will be able to digitally flick the pages of the book. It's very nice, and I think it's very useful, and of course it is for free. And now it's time that we go to the next section of the show, which is going to be highly controversial, and that is going to be triple your internet intelligence. Welcome to Triple Your Internet Intelligence. This is a video that I am recording on my new iPhone 5C, which I'm very happy because it is on HD, and of course the quality looks great. But the reason why I am filming it right now on my iPhone, it is because this reminds me exactly that it is because of these kind of videos that the world is actually changing. I decided to do an episode talking about the manipulation of the media because recently, on September 15th, I got a big shock. I mean, I could not believe it. And let me just explain to you exactly what happened. On September 15th, it is one day before Independence Day. Independence Day in Mexico is September 16th. But on September 15th in the evening, the current Mexican president always goes into the City Hall of Mexico City in a square called the Zócalo Square. So this ceremony is supposedly about to start at 11 o'clock, and so I went to try to get the government feed from the official internet feed, Independence Celebration. And you know what, the funny thing is, it was 5 minutes for 11 and it was not showing up anywhere, and then afterwards it was let's say 11 o'clock and there was nothing. So I started looking all over the place on the internet and I couldn't find anything. So suddenly, I mean, strange enough, this celebration, this streaming of the celebration started 15 minutes late, which I thought it was very strange. The funny thing is, they actually were using footage from last year, and they were, I mean, the riots and the things that were going on were absolutely crazy. Just to give you a little bit of a background of what has happened, the president, which is right now the current president of Mexico, his name is Enrique Peña Nieto. He was elected on a very dubious way in Mexico. A lot of people say that it was a fraudulent election. When he was the governor of the state of Mexico, he also got into one riot with people, and there were some people that were actually killed during his term as governor. And basically what happened was that people were calling him that he was an assassin, that he was a killer, and that the government was a fraud. And what happened on the real television broadcast was that everything was beautiful and everything was going out perfectly well. Well, let me tell you exactly what happened. This was actually staged. All the Mexicans in Mexico watch it live, plus all the Mexicans which are all over the world watch it live. And this is basically exactly what happens like in the film Wag the Dog. They were showing footage of something that was filmed previously. Exactly what was happening there was completely taken out of the broadcasting system, and this is the reason why this ceremony started late. So what I want you to see is, please look first at the video of what the official broadcasting company were showing. So please look at the video. So it's going to last about 30-40 seconds, and you will see exactly what was transmitted all over the television stations. Have a look.
Mexicanos, vivan los héroes que nos dieron patria y libertad. Viva Hidalgo, viva Josefa Ortiz de Domínguez, viva Allende, viva Aldama, viva en Galeana y Matamoros, viva México. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México!
Okay, so now you have seen exactly what happened at that very moment, right? You saw exactly what happened when everybody saw it, and of course everybody thought, well, you know, this is perfectly fine, and everything was normal. Did you notice that the people that were there cheering for him, the two times that they appear, they are exactly the same people? Alright, so let me show you video number 2, and this video was filmed with a telephone, and you will see exactly what is going on in the Zócalo. Have a look. Isn't it absolutely crazy? Don't you think this is just absolutely amazing that at this day and age we are just getting this kind of manipulation through the media? It's just absolutely terrible, don't you think? Well, just this got me thinking, and I started doing a little bit more of research, and I came across a very interesting video from TED. And I want you to watch this video and a little bit of what it says, because this is not only going on in the regular media, but it is also going on the internet. Have a look.
A squirrel dying in your front yard may be more relevant to your interests right now than people dying in Africa. And I want to talk about what a web based on that idea of relevance might look like. So when I was growing up in a really rural area in Maine, you know, the internet meant something very different to me. It meant a connection to the world. It meant something that would connect us all together. And I was sure that it was going to be great for democracy and for our society. But there's this kind of shift in how information is flowing online. And it's invisible. And if we don't pay attention to it, it could be a real problem. So I first noticed this in a place I spend a lot of time, my Facebook page. I'm progressive politically, big surprise, but I've always gone out of my way to meet conservatives. I like hearing what they're thinking about. I like seeing what they link to. I like learning a thing or two. And so I was kind of surprised when I noticed one day that the conservatives had disappeared from my Facebook feed. And what it turned out was going on was that Facebook was looking at which links I clicked on. And it was noticing that actually I was clicking more on my liberal friends' links than on my conservative friends' links. And without consulting me about it, it had edited them out. They disappeared. So Facebook isn't the only place that's doing this kind of invisible algorithmic editing of the web. Google's doing it too. If I search for something and you search for something, even right now at the very same time, we may get very different search results. Even if you're logged out, one engineer told me, there are 57 signals that Google looks at. Everything from what kind of computer you're on, to what kind of browser you're using, to where you're located, that it uses to personally tailor your query results. Think about it for a second. There is no standard Google anymore. And you know, the funny thing about this is that it's hard to see. You can't see how different your search results are from anyone else's. But a couple of weeks ago, I asked a bunch of friends to Google Egypt and to send me screenshots of what they got. So here's my friend Scott's screenshot, and here's my friend Daniel's screenshot. When you put them side by side, you don't even have to read the links to see how different these two pages are. But when you do read the links, it's really quite remarkable. Daniel didn't get anything about the protests in Egypt at all in his first page of Google results. Scott's results were full of them. And this was the big story of the day at that time. That's how different these results are becoming. So it's not just Google and Facebook either. You know, this is something that's sweeping the web. There are a whole host of companies that are doing this kind of personalization. Yahoo News, the biggest news site on the internet, is now personalized. Different people get different things. Huffington Post, the Washington Post, New York Times, all flirting with personalization in various ways. And where this moves us very quickly toward a world in which the internet is showing us what it thinks we want to see, but not necessarily what we need to see. As Eric Schmidt said, it'll be very hard for people to watch or consume something that has not in some sense been tailored for them. So I do think this is a problem. And I think if you take all of these filters together, if you take all of these algorithms, you get what I call a filter bubble. And your filter bubble is kind of your own personal, unique universe of information that you live in online. And what's in your filter bubble depends on who you are, and it depends on what you do. But the thing is that you don't decide what gets in. And more importantly, you don't actually see what gets edited out.
Okay, so now you have seen it. Isn't it amazing? Well, just make sure that you always know and that you always search for the real source of where all this information that you're looking at on the internet is coming from, because not everything which is put on the internet is actually exactly how it happens. So I hope that you have enjoyed this section, and now it's time that we go with my friend James Reynolds and his SEO fantastic tips.
In this AdWords training, I'll reveal to you where you can find additional reporting functionality within your AdWords account so you always make a sound business decision. Now, if you've ever taken a look inside a Google AdWords account, you'll know that it's filled with fantastic front-end data. And what I mean by that is data relating to impressions, how many times your ads are seen, how many people click on your ads, and what those cost per clicks are. It's also fantastic to show the back-end data. How many people convert into sales or perhaps inquiries if you've got conversion tracking installed, and where those conversions have come from in terms of which campaign, which ad group, and even which keywords. What it's missing though is that fantastic filling, the stuff in the middle. What happens between someone clicking on your ad and then them converting later on? Now, when you link your AdWords account with your analytics account, you get that meaty filling. You're able to see what path through your site your visitors take, how many pages they visit, and what the duration of visit is on your site. Now, you can drill this information down to campaign level, ad group level, and even keyword level. Now, when you have this data, you're able to see a full picture and make better business decisions. For instance, using the Google Analytics multi-channel conversion view, you'll not only be able to see those people that click on your AdWords ad and then immediately result in a conversion, but you'll also see those people that click on your AdWords ad and then perhaps return to your site 4 or 5 times via other channels before converting. Now, with this data, you'll not only see when Google AdWords is directly responsible for a conversion, but you'll also see when AdWords influences a conversion. By linking your AdWords account and your analytics account together, you will get the full picture, and as a result, you'll make better business decisions. This has been James Reynolds for another Google AdWords pay-per-click news. To get your website taking advantage of Google AdWords, contact us here at clickjam.com. I'll see you back here for another news next week.
On today's episode, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Seth Larrabee, and he's one of the best networkers that I know on Facebook. Networking in Facebook, you might be saying, well, actually, it is an art what you do. So, Seth, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show. Funny enough, we know already for a few years, but we have never really met in person. And right now, I think it's a great thing that we're here. So, can you tell them a little bit about this concept, which is, I think, an art that you do, which is networking on Facebook?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad to be here. Thank you as well. One of the things most people miss on Facebook, because most of the focus in business anyway, in marketing, is geared towards fan pages and Facebook ads. Am I right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what you usually
Absolutely.
look at, right?
Exactly.
And most people who do any kind of business or marketing online, that's what they see Facebook as, except their personal profile. But they think that's for friends, family, funny, cute dog and cat pictures, that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's a place for that. But if you're not using your personal profile, and I don't mean just your personal timeline where you can post messages about what you do for a business, you know, and talk to clients or potential customers, but also how to use Facebook groups. And we're in a couple together, one very big one that we know is amazing.
Very powerful.
And it's how you use those groups to your advantage. And I don't mean spamming them. I mean asking great questions that gets great responses, so you get to be known as a person who adds a lot of value, not just by commenting on things that people may be asking asking to give them some information that you're an expert in, but also to get great replies to your question so that people will go down 15, 20, 50 comments and just get amazing value from your question that they might be thinking but didn't want to ask for some reason. That to me, I think is one of the most powerful. I could go a lot more into the personal side of Facebook, like your timeline, and how to use that to your greatest advantage. But I mean, that'd take way too long. I just think the biggest thing that would be of the greatest help is to find groups in your market, in your industry, and what you're good at, and then join, ask to join, or if it's an open group, join, and just start in the conversation and start to get known as somebody who helps. If you're someone who gives great value, people are going to naturally be attracted to you, and then they're going to want to know more about how you might be able to help them. Does that make sense?
That is great. That is great advice. One of the things that I always like to do is I want to recommend you good resources, and Seth is full of resources, but I think most important, it's very, very interesting to see how he actually operates in Facebook. So it will be great if you actually can tell them how they can connect with you. Or I know that you have 2 or 3 different ways, so if you would like to share with them how they can get in touch with you, that'll be awesome.
The best way to just connect with me, because I like connecting with all kinds of new people. That's what I did this Marketers Cruise, where we're doing the show right now from, is my profile on Facebook. So go to facebook.com/Seth Larrabee, and that's spelled S-E-T-H.
They can see it here.
S-E-T-H, and all one word, L-A-R-R-A, B as in boy, E-E. So facebook.com/Seth Larrabee, and if you look for me on the search engine on top in Facebook, I'm usually the very first one that comes up. And just either send a friend request or subscribe, which they now call follow. Just follow me, and you can start seeing actually real time how I do what I do, and just start using some of the techniques and things you see from me while I'm actually doing it live in Facebook.
Fantastic. Seth, thank you very much for being on the show, and once again, make sure that you connect with him. And now it's time that we go to the next section of the show, which is going to be One App a Day Keeps Boredom Away.
So, well, I hope that you have enjoyed this very controversial show. Once again, this is Ernesto Verdugo, and this is Amazing Websites Television. See you next week. Bye-bye.